All right. Good morning, gym rats. At least it's morning for me. So we are on our way to go do back and hamstrings at the Raw PSL location. We're going to have a little conversation on the way there. Not to copy Mr. Sam Sulik, but in the gym, I'm very much like Jay Cutler. You know, I'm locked in. My mindset is on, whoa. Caught you. Whoa. All right, so this is the first time I have it set up in the car, so I'm going to have to get used to these turns. But very much like Jay Cutler, where I have like tunnel vision. You know, I go in there and it's just me and what I have to do. I'm not really thinking about anything else, so I don't really feel as though I need to talk or say anything else. But it's like I want to do this, but I want to build a community. I want you guys to see me. I want you to know. Okay, here we go. All right, you hung in there. Okay. I want you guys to see what I have to offer, my personality, and, you know, be along for the ride. And I don't really get a lot of that when I'm doing videos in the gym. You know, a lot of it is the gym, but I really want to build a community, you know. So I might put the workout over this and this just be like a talk-over point. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, we got our pre in here. I'm using a Wawa cup because I left my shaker cup in the car. So, but anyway, yes, very much like Jay Cutler. I mean, you live in a box. You know, when you do this, you live in a box. But a lot of it, for me, it's like I don't want to live in a box where it becomes very, you know, repetitive, to where there is no life outside of the gym. You know, and there's a lot more to my life than just the gym, but it's hard to capture that because I'm very much a person that lives in the moment. So, one thing that I want to talk about as well is that I also tend to forget that for a lot of beginners and for a lot of you, some of the very basic things that a lot of beginners don't quite understand or have any concept of, that's just common sense to me. Take, for example, I was talking to my sister-in-law, Mallory, like last week, and she goes to the gym, but she's still like fairly new to it. So she goes to me, she's like, Nick, you're competing for your show, you're an online coach, can I ask you some questions? It's like, of course you can. And she was like, well, she lists off a bunch of different things, and I start breaking it down. She goes, what's the point of muscle memory? Do I have to have a mind-muscle connection? What's the whole thing about shocking the muscle? Is form very important? How necessary is form? This, that, and the other thing. And it was kind of like a wake-up call to me that it was like, man, this is just such common sense to me that I don't even think about it, while other people are puzzled by it. They don't understand, which is completely fine. Everyone starts somewhere. There was a time where I didn't understand it. You know, it's to put into perspective, it's kind of like you're training the new hire, right? And you walk in, hey, you're going to be training this person today. All right, cool. Let's go ahead. You walk up, you clock in. They're like, oh, so this is where we clock in. And you stop to yourself and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm just used to waking up, grabbing my energy drink, getting to the place, pushing a button, clocking in, and going to work. I don't even think about it. Whereas someone new to the game is kind of like, where do I start? Ooh. Whew. All right. Music. It's always loud as hell in here. Did some warm-ups and laying, hamstring curls. Went heavy with some Romanian deadlifts, stiff-legged deadlifts. Now some seated hamstring curls. I hate seated hamstring curls here. I don't like this machine. I feel like I'm trying to balance as I'm doing it. Some CrossFit type shit. I don't balance and lift heavy weight. I lift heavy weight. So one thing is the mind-muscle connection. Is it important? Is it necessary? Now let me tell you this. A lot of things I don't know if necessarily are necessary. Okay? Because if you put forth enough effort into something, you're going to have some sort of, outcome. Something is going to come out of it. So even if you don't build a mind-muscle connection, but you put in the effort, you're still going to get something out of it. Now, why I think the mind-muscle connection is so important is because you really put your mind into that muscle. You understand that exact muscle fibers and you understand what you're training and how it feels. Not only that, I have a much better understanding of my muscle. So take, for example, I'm training biceps, right? One thing that always helped me grasp the concept of the mind-muscle connection was just holding my bicep, curling, and squeezing at the top like a flex. Feeling inside the muscle, that flex, and then also with my other hand, feeling the muscle and feel that tension, that squeeze, that flex. While also closing my eyes. Build that mind-muscle connection. I am in the muscle. Kind of like that scene from Avatar where Jake Sully connects with the horse and Neytiri is kind of like, feel her breathe, feel her strong legs. I think about that every time for legs, by the way. But you build this connection to the muscles to where it's like, yes, I feel it, I understand it. Now, why is this important? I feel as though it can be very important because you have an understanding of the muscle. You know how it feels, you know how fatigued it is, you know how much you can push on it. You have a better understanding of what you can put your body through. So take, for example, a leg day. I have a bad knee. I had a reconstructed ACL. On top of that, I recently just had a meniscus tear, a very minor tear in my meniscus, which is causing me a lot of pain. So when I go into the gym and I hit legs, I can feel that pain. I can judge how much weight I can do, how many reps I can do without the risk of injury. It's very important that you have that mind-muscle connection so that way you have an understanding of how far you can push the limits. Another thing that I would say is shocking the muscle. What is the thing about shocking the muscle? So many people nowadays are saying, oh, shocking the muscle, that doesn't exist. You know, why are you shocking the muscle? It's not surprised by anything. And there was this trend where people would be like, going to do curls, it's like, haha, I lied, I'm doing front squats, or some shit like that. And it's like, oh, I shocked it, it wasn't ready for that, I didn't see it coming. It's like, that's not necessarily the point of shocking the muscle. Now, what can you do? I can go into the gym and I can do the same workout routine and just progressive overload. And I will get results. There's no doubt about that. But for some people, they hit a plateau with the same workout routine. It becomes boring, it becomes stale, predictable, and they kind of get in either a plateau or they just hit this point where it's like, I don't really care to do this anymore. It's not fun. I'm bored. It's the same shit every day. Where's the fun in that? So what I always like to do when I get into that is I like to shock the muscle. Now, how do you do that? It's very simple. Take, for example, you have a chest day, right? I always start out with bench press. Then I move on to incline. Then I move on to pec deck flies, etc., etc. All right, well, how about we shock the muscle, and instead of starting with incline, or starting with flat bench, we start with incline. That way, it's like, what the hell are we doing here? I'm not used to starting with incline, I'm used to starting with flat. Or even better, let's go ahead and start with pec deck flies. Then we do incline, and then we do flat bench. We just flip it, we do it backwards. Now, the muscles that were fatigued at the end of your workout from the, you do flat, incline, pec deck, your muscles are already fatigued by the time you hit pec deck. So if you flip it around, right, you start with pec deck, you're going to be a lot stronger. You're going to be able to do a little bit heavier weight, get a really good connection, really good strength. It's going to be fairly easy and you're going to be stronger. Already mentally, you're like, dude, I'm stronger in this before. That's crazy. That's a PR. That's awesome. That's a rep PR. That's a weight PR. Insane. Then you go ahead and you do flat or incline. Incline's about the same, and then you go to flat. You're like, man, I'm a little bit weaker with flat bench. What's up with that? Doesn't matter, because now you're pre-exhausted. Now when you touch the flat bench, pre-exhausted, the weight that you used to be able to just rep out is going to feel heavier. So it's going to trick the body into thinking that you're lifting heavier. Okay? So, the next day, why am I so sore? I must be doing something right because I'm sore. You know, I got a stronger pump, this, that. It's a mental thing. Whether it is something physical that actually works or it's a mental thing, regardless of the fact, you shocked the muscle, you shocked your nervous system, your body was not used to the repetitions, the weight, the rep range, and the order. It's something different. You pre-exhausted the muscle. You went ahead and you did new weight. It's something new. It's refreshing for the mentality. It's like, okay, I am making progress because I feel like I'm making progress. I am lifting heavier weight, so I must be making progress. And it's just as simple as you're doing the same exercises, you're doing the same rep range, you just flip things around. I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to think, you know, that kind of makes sense. If you're ever hitting a plateau, or if you're fatigued, or just kind of bored with your lift, shock the muscle, move shit around. Makes sense, you know? You have to have the right mentality, and if something presents itself as an obstacle, be optimistic. Be like, you know what? I may not have done my best here today. I know I can do better. I know I'm capable of more. But next time I come in here, it will be better. I will do better next time because now I have an understanding of the ROM, the way it moves, the weight. I'll come back and I'll crush it next time. It's kind of like my mentality right now. I feel like a hippopotamus. My body fat percentage is up. I'm very full. I'm very big. That's great. But I don't see a lot of the lines. I don't see a lot of definitions. I just feel like a fucking hippo. Okay? So coming into YouTube, it's like, man, I don't really want to show off my physique because I'm not really proud of my physique. I don't feel very aesthetic. I don't look my very best. But I have to make that mental switch. I have to change my mindset that this is day one of prep. Okay? There's a reason why we're getting into prep. There's a reason why I'm doing cardio. There's a reason why we're cutting back food. Is so that way I can get into the best shape. That doesn't mean I'm in the best shape ever. Now, do I like my shape? Do I feel like I look big and strong? Yes, of course. But I am not proud to walk on stage right now. But that's why we're doing the work. You have to take a step back and realize this is why we're doing the work. You know, growing up, I wasn't a sporty kid. I was very much an art geek. And one thing that my art teacher helped me with is I would get so frustrated with a painting. It's not turning out the way I want it to. It doesn't really look good. She was like, take a second, breathe, and take a walk with me. The walk was simply 5 steps back. I'm like, okay. She's like, turn around and look at your painting. Turn around, I look at it. She's like, what do you think? I'm like, I think it looks pretty good, but that one piece, she's like, you're too close to the problem. Sometimes all you have to do is take a step back and look at it from a different perspective. Huh. Oh, wow, okay. So it's no different with training. It's like, man, I look like a hippopotamus. And I keep thinking I look like a hippopotamus. Then that's all I'm going to see is that I'm going to follow the path that I am a fat hippopotamus. Instead, let me change my mindset. I am doing the things, I'm taking the steps, and I'm putting forth the effort to not be a hippopotamus, to be a lean, mean fucking machine. Okay? So give it 2, 3, 4 weeks. There's going to be a big difference because I envision what I want to look like. I want to look leaner. I want to look better. Let me put forth the steps and the effort to achieve that. Come back to the problem or come back to the painting. That's what I would do. If I would get too frustrated, I'd take a step back, still frustrated, I leave. Come back the next day or the next 2, 3 days, whatever it be, and be like, oh, this is an easy fix. I just, boom, fixed. Bodybuilding's a little bit different, okay? Come back in 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, I'm right on course. I'm right there, right where I need to be, and I'm doing it.